Man, there are no more posters in my room. My room, just like, there's nothing on it anymore. It's just depressing to look at. It's just so blank and pale. And just, I can't look at this anymore. It's just so blank. There's nothing cool about my walls or my room anymore. There's nothing. Not my Spider-Man poster, not my Iron Maiden poster. Got nothing in here anymore. I can't look at this anymore. Let's just go to the video. Hey guys, welcome back to the Comic Book Lowdown. I'm Wellington, and just a couple of news things before we start. If you guys were waiting for the FDCR, the free digital comic review, yesterday or Thursday. Sorry, I'm just waking up, so you guys gotta work with me. But if you were waiting for that on Thursday, I'm sorry I didn't make one. With this whole moving thing, like I said, a lot of things have been hectic, and I haven't had time to really just sit down and, really read comics and enjoy them, besides the ones that I really wanted to get out on video soon, like the thing I'm reviewing right now. And I also plan on reviewing Deathstroke, the four comics of Deathstroke that I got in my unboxing video. So I want to review that today. And so that, I don't think I'm going to have a FDCR coming out this week, but hopefully next week on, maybe not Thursday, because Thursday is a day that I'm moving into, is the last day I'm going to be moving into my house, my new house. So maybe a Saturday I might get out a new FDCR. Maybe if I want to, I'll double time it, for 2 weeks' sake. Put some extra comics in there to review. Another piece of news, I was going to pick something up from my comic shop because I didn't have anything on my pull list, so I thought I could try some new things out, or I could pick up Superior Spider-Man #2, since I did like the first issue, but I wasn't really planning on putting it on my list just because I got a lot of books on there now, for at least me, because I don't have a lot of money. But I just got to save my money right now with this whole moving stuff, and also I'm going to have, February is a big month, so I really just want to save what I have for February to come, and then I'll have a bunch of books to review. So I won't have a pull week video for this week either, so sorry I'm missing 2 of my weekly reviews, but I will be bringing you guys 2 reviews today, and yeah, so just going forward, just work with me, guys, because soon enough I'm going to be having my schedule back, and everything will be working out really good. So anyways, get into the review. Today I am reviewing Walking Dead Volume 4, The Heart's Desire, and this is of course by Robert Kirkman, art by Charlie Adlard. And where we left off in the last trade was Dexter. Dexter is the one of the prisoners that was imprisoned for murder. He has had enough with Rick's group and the main group that we follow. He has had enough with them, and so with the help from Patricia, who's switched sides on the whole group, she helped Dexter and Andrew get all these guns from A block in the prison, where of course all these extra zombies were at. She helped them. She helped those 2 guys get guns, and now they're gonna try to kick out Rick's group and they're forcing them out. So it's looking a lot like we're gonna have to go on in the RV again, and it's just so disappointing to see, these guys do all this work for the prison, do all this stuff, and now they're gonna get kicked out. But right before they're gonna get kicked out. You know, they're arguing and everything. Dexter's pointing a gun at him, threatening to shoot them. But just at that moment, all the zombies from A block, well, maybe not all of them, but most of them, they just swarm out of the building. And then just, it's like a gunfight. They gotta get rid of all these zombies quick. And so now they have to work together again to get rid of all these zombies. And then the fire, Rick finds an opportunity, and he takes it. And it's a very questionable take, because you can understand where he's coming from, but then also just what he does. He actually shoots Dexter through the head, kills Dexter, and says that it was he says that it was just a stray bullet because of all the gunfire. But what he really did it was because he didn't want to get kicked out. He didn't want to be back on in the wild, pretty much. So he took responsibility of the group's needs, and he decided that I'm sorry, I'm just waking up again, so I gotta get my thoughts straight. He decided that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one, or the needs of the few, and so he took charge in that moment, and he killed Dexter. But so the only person that really noticed that it wasn't an accident was Tyrese. So now, you know, there's a little tension that builds up between the two because of just some things that happen later. Another character comes into their lives in this book too. I'm not really sure how to say her name. I think it's Michonne or Choni, but she's the black girl and who has the swords. And her story is pretty sad. She's lost, you know, her whole family, her husband, boyfriend, or ex-husband, I should say, boyfriend, parents, kids, her 2 kids, you know, friends, everybody. And so she's been out on her own, just taking care of herself for survival. And they allow her in, but under tight supervision. And then some things happen with her later that are really upset and really rise the tensions between all the main group, and it's just really intense. Another thing that happens is that we finally see Alan get out of the funk that he's in. Alan has been in a funk for the past I think 2 trades or 1.5 trades, because of course his wife Donna got bit, and then, you know, she turned into a zombie. She died. So now he's been grieving over her, and but we finally see him get out of his funk closer to the end of this, and he decides that, you know, he's gonna go help Rick, Tyrese, Dale, and Axel. He's gonna help those guys pretty much check if A block is clear. You know, whatever zombies they might be, gonna take care of them. And so we finally get Alan, you know, back on his feet again, looking like things are gonna be up. And while they're checking the place, Alan gets bit on his ankle, or yeah, on the back of his foot, pretty much. And the zombie pretty much takes off a chunk, and it's really nasty. And of course, bites kill in this. And so they go through drastic measures to try to save Alan, because now he's bit. And so Rick decides, and another questionable decision by Rick, but it makes sense at the time, and it still makes sense actually, that he decides to chop off Alan's infected leg, or the leg that was bitten, I should say, because all of them are infected. He cuts off Alan's leg and tries to stop the bleeding. And with the help of Herschel, they stop the bleeding, but not after Alan's lost a lot of blood already. So now Rick has chopped Alan's leg off, and it's really gruesome the way they show it, and it's just, the tensions are so high between everybody in the group. A lot of people are just questioning Rick's sanity now. Rick has he's made some very questionable decisions so far, and now everybody's starting to think like, what if Rick is now starting to, what if everything's starting to weigh down on Rick? What if he's starting to go crazy, and yet he still feels like he needs to protect everybody and be the leader, pretty much, even though he says he doesn't like being called the leader. But that pretty much just, and it's very just gruesome in how they show it, and I really feel sorry for, you know, Alan's boys. But then as a result, Tyrese can't, you know, he just wants some time to blow off some steam, and he goes to the basketball court, and Michonne, she likes to work out, lift weights, do all this stuff that, you know, Tyrese likes, and of course they're the only two black people there left, at least that I can remember. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're the only two black people left, and or that are there at least. So they have a lot of things in common with each other. Michonne followed the teams that Tyrese played for when he was in the NFL, and you know, they just have, Michonne really likes Tyrese, you can see, and as a result, she pretty much forces herself onto Tyrese, and Tyrese does nothing to stop it, really. All he says is, you know, just stop, and, you know, they engage in a sexual act, and while they're doing that, Carol, going to check up on Tyrese, she sees that happen, and she is just devastated, absolutely devastated, and pretty much just, I feel really bad for Carol, because, you know, you get to really like Tyrese, you get to really like Carol, and you get to even really like them together, and so just to have this girl come out of nowhere and already just mess that up, it's really disappointing, and you can see that Michonne, she has a lot of weird things going on, and rightfully so. I mean, she's been out there for a lot longer than even Rick and everybody else has, so Andrea finds her talking to herself, pretty much, and then she just denies that she was talking to herself, and so she's not very likable. She's not you don't dislike her that much, but she's not very friendly to everybody. She's just she's grateful that she's there, and then kind of just wants to be there and stay there. Carol, you know, she's laying in bed with Tyrese. Tyrese doesn't know that she saw them together, and she tries to impress Tyrese, and you know, it didn't work, and so she just cries, and now she kicks out Tyrese from the room. She wants him to move all the stuff out of their cell, and this is it, pretty much. She's absolutely devastated about how this is, and just, I feel really bad for their relationship. And then Carol tries to confide in Rick, and but Rick doesn't know about why they broke up. They just confide in each other, and it's just really sad how all that stuff happens. And as a result, because Carol is so devastated, she slits her wrists right in front of Sophia, her daughter, and so it's very scary, very sad about how that happens, because now she could quite possibly die, and she did it right in front of her own daughter, because she was so upset about Tyrese. And at the same time, Tyrese doesn't know about this yet, and he's just moving all the stuff out of the cell, and Michonne just comes onto him again and starts kissing him, and while they're kissing, Rick sees it, and this is where all the skeletons come out of the closet, and they just start yelling at each other, and they start fighting each other. And we know, of course, Tyrese, having been in the NFL, he's a lot bigger than Rick, who was just a small-town cop. So there's really no match here. But Rick, he's over the edge pretty much. He's just blaming Tyrese for everything. He says, this is why Carol slit her wrist. It's because of you. It's your fault. If she dies, you killed her. You pretty much slit her wrist. And he's just blaming, just going all out on Tyrese. And Tyrese is telling him to, stop it. I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't know it was going to happen. But Rick does not let up. He's like, this is all your fault. All your fault. And then here's the first punch that's thrown. First punch, Tyrese throws it to Rick's just right in the face. And honestly, Rick doesn't put up a fight. He's no match for Tyrese. Tyrese is, like I said, he's just way bigger. But even after being beat up so many times, just over and over, Rick does not let up on telling Tyrese that it's all his fault. And that he's now calling him a murderer. He's bringing up what he did to Chris back. Chris is Julie's boyfriend that killed Julie. And so Tyrese killed Chris. And then you find out that he also mutilated his body and chopped it up into pieces because he killed Julie. And so we learned that here. And it's very just, you can see all these people are now off the edge. This situation has gotten to them to the point where, now they're okay on the outside until now. But on the inside, they're all just, monsters waiting to come out. And it's just really intense how much tension is felt just through the pages of this. When Rick, his face is all beaten up, yet he's still getting on Tyrese, still telling him that it's his fault and that all of this. And so Tyrese comes back, he's like, well, if I'm a murderer, what about you? You killed Dexter, you did it on purpose. And then Rick pretty much owns it. And he's like, yeah, I killed Dexter because he was going to kick us out. We needed a place to stay. We weren't going to go back in the wild. And if I didn't take my opportunity, he was going to pretty much kill us. So he's like, this world is kill or be killed. And but Tyrese is like, well, you enjoyed it. Because ever since that he killed Thomas, or, beat Thomas up, he's been on like a bloodlust, is what Tyrese says. And so now he's enjoying the sight of blood. And he said that he enjoyed cutting Alan's leg off. And it's just really, really sad. And just the tension that ensues again. They start fighting again. So Rick pretty much pushes Tyrese on a wall. And then Tyrese just beats Rick up to the point where Rick blacks out. Rick blacks out, and they're on the second floor of the jail. Rick passes out over the railing and falls over the top, and it's really sad. He just falls over, and a fall like that, had he landed in a bad way, could have killed him. So it's just really, I honestly thought that even though Rick's the main character, I was like, what are they going to do to Rick? Kirkman does a really good job at writing this. Even when he's fallen over the rail, Rick still is, yelling at Tyrese. Not really yelling at this point, but, he's still angry with Tyrese, and he even musters up the strength to kick Tyrese in the face. And then after that, he can't anymore. And Lori comes down from the stairs, seeing all the commotion that's happened. And then Rick can't even walk at this point. He's got a hard time standing, and he's pretty much gone. And so, just at that moment, Andrea comes and says that Alan is dead. And Rick takes it upon himself that he's like, I have to shoot him now. So, before he comes back. And it's just really sad that, after all of this, Rick then says that it's my duty to now shoot him. And after he shoots him, Herschel and McConey try to talk to Rick, and they're trying to say, you didn't have to do it because you guys were close. You could have let one of us do it. You don't have to carry the burden of this all to yourself. And they get no response from Rick. And that's because Rick actually passed out after he shot him. And as you can see, Rick the art in here is great as well. Just, it works perfect. And then you see this whole page of black. And it's just really sad. All this stuff is happening, even though they're all safe and they all feel like, we can start a new life now. Yet, they're all worse than ever. And so you kind of just see what people are capable of doing. And then when he wakes up, a day and a couple hours later, say 26 hours later, he wakes up to Carol sitting at his bed, and she's pretty much just thanking him about standing up for her and doing what he did in defense of Carol. And Carol is like, or Rick is saying, that's the way it has to be. It wasn't right what he did to you. And Carol pretty much, she then Carol's very, she's very emotional, where when people do things for her, when she's feeling lonely or something, she just lunges at the person that's next to her. She did it to Lori, in fact, before, when she thought that Tyrese had died. She lunged at Lori and kissed her because she felt lonely. And now that she's sitting with Rick and knowing that Rick defended her like that, she lunges at Rick and kisses him. And of course, Rick pushes her off like Tyrese should have. And he says, we're not going to hide this. I'm going to tell Lori. Lori's going to understand because she knows how Carol is. She's had it happen firsthand. So, but he can't hide that, because if he hides it, just things snowball out of control. And he's just saying that, I'm married still. I love my wife. I love my kid. And, I'm not the person that you need to be going to for all of this. There are plenty of guys probably still out there in the world that you can be with, and that kind of puts Carol in a funk. And I'm pretty sure in the next trade something bad's gonna happen to Carol, because from then on, for the most part, when they show Carol, she's always has a blank look on her face whenever they show it. And when they don't, she's very shaded. Like the inker Cliff Wraithburn, he shades her whole face, so you don't see any facial expression or anything. So that's just really, that's a tell for me that something's gonna happen, or that she's gonna do something crazy or drastic or something. Then Dale comes out, talks to Rick about what they've gone through since Rick's been in a coma, pretty much, another coma. And he tells him that they made a committee, so Rick is not the only person in charge anymore, and Rick cannot be happier about that. But he's got one last thing to say to the whole group, and he tells them, he goes on this long speech about, if you think that people are going to save us again, stop thinking that, because it's not true. This is our life now. You're never going to watch TV. You're never going to send your kids off to school again. You're never going to go grocery shopping. This is our life, fighting for survival. And he says, what he said before was, if you kill, it was something, kill and then be killed or something like that. He says it was the dumbest thing he ever said, because sometimes, or kill you die. If you kill you die, he says, no, now it's you kill, you live, because sometimes you have to kill because they're surrounded by death. And the way this ends is great. He's like, those zombies out there, they're the living dead, but they're not the walking dead. And then he said, we're the walking dead. And this great ending right here. So we are the walking dead. and it pretty much goes on this speech that he forces everybody to listen to because, you know, everybody's thinking that he's crazy. And then the final page here just says it again, but, you know, the realism is really hitting him now. And to be continued, of course, and I absolutely love this trade. You know, it might be one of my favorites. Again, that's hard to distinguish because all of them are so good. The story is absolutely amazing. There's no point where there's not any point where you think that somebody can't die. You know, even Rick could die in the next trade, and we'd still push forward. I mean, I'm sure that he doesn't, but that's just how this story works. That people come and go all the time, and just Kirkman does a great job, and teamed up with Adlard and Rathburn just makes out for a great story. So anyways, that's my review on The Walking Dead Volume 4, The Heart's Desires. I'm Wellington signing off for the Comic Book Lowdown, and I'll see you guys next time.